Oh, the iFANI story is really interesting. So, you know the universe works in divine ways, right? He knows, right? Guessing that, yeah. And it was the end of 2010, beginning of 2011, and I went to a hip-hop gig at OST. And it just so happened that in my soul at the time, I was looking for something new creatively. Like it had been my 8, 9, in fact it was 9 going on 10 years where I was just deep in the conscious stuff. And I really felt in my spirit that I was seeking something more. I was seeking more enjoyment and more fun because I wanted to add those elements that I had as a child, you know, back into it. And it was at that time, December 2010, January 2011, that I discovered the Antwoord and that I discovered iFANI. So what happened was, I went to a party at OST. iFANI was doing Ewe on stage and I lost my rocker. Like, I just went crazy because I mean, I was like, what? That energy on stage? I didn't understand what he was saying, but I just felt it, you know? And then after he performed that song, they made him do it again. And I was like, what? And so after hearing him perform and seeing him perform, I went to speak to him afterwards. I was like, yo man, I really dig your music. Let's exchange contacts. And then I went back to Durban to finish my final year at varsity. That's when I registered as CK and I was promoting local merchandise, local CDs and stuff. And so he was one of the people I hollered at before he was signed to Disguise. I was like, before he was signed to Sony, he was pushing his album independently through Disguise. And so his CD was one of the CDs I was selling in Durban. At the time, you know, I had a whole lot of unsigned CDs that I'd sell at shows and stuff. And people would be like, who's this guy? Who's this iFANI? And then I had to go, you know the Ewe song? And then they'd be like, oh, okay, that guy. And so it sprouted from a deep appreciation of what he was doing. Like, because I'd been used to conscious and things like that, I was really attracted to the fun elements of his music and the happy energy. And so we met in 2010, 2011, December, and then we stayed in contact ever since. And I finished my final year at varsity. I came back to Joburg. I was like, yo man, back in Joburg. And then we worked on a few songs then, and then we had a period in time where we weren't speaking because the people I was working with they just weren't cool, you know, this beef stuff or whatever. But eventually time aligned and it allowed us to work together again. And then he asked me a few months ago, he was like, so do you want to sign to Disguise? I said, yeah.